Call this meeting in order and stand for the pledge, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Okay, do we have any tenants? Does not look like that. We'll hold that open until.
That would be me.
Oh, you got a shut off? Okay.
Got two.
Need a way.
I got two.
Okay.
So what's the status of that at this point?
Oh, you got a shut off notice, I'm assuming.
Two of them, yeah.
So is that you, Mr. Rasmussen?
Yep.
So that's for your tenants, to make a deal with the board to pay their water bill.
That doesn't tell me what the status of that is. Is that gonna be shut off tomorrow? What's the status?
No, your water will not be shut off tomorrow.
All right, will the tenant's water be shut off?
The water will not be shut off to those buildings,
Okay.
which Eileen, I believe, told you already.
She did not.
That's
I asked you a direct question if I needed to attend here this evening in an email, and you didn't respond to that question.
I called you. You didn't call me back. Typically, if somebody calls and leaves a voicemail.
Typically, if I leave an email, you respond to me.
Let's just get it to what is the responsibility of the,
Mr. Rasmussen is responsible for paying for the bills. The red slips are for tenants to make a deal with the town if the landlord doesn't pay their water bill.
and it's the typical 30 days or whatever it is. Are we at shut off time now? We are, okay.
But no, Mr. Rasmussen will not receive, his buildings won't have the water shut off.
So at this point, this has become a huge mess. For years, the water bill showed 8 and 10 South Park Place. 8 and 10 South Park Place are multi-unit apartment buildings that are next door. They're the Adams house. I tried multiple times to get it corrected. That did not happen. Now, they put account number 14 on 14 South Park Place. And they put account 705 on 12 South Park Place. But those are actually backwards.
But those are the two that you own?
Yes.
Okay, so we can,
705 and 14.
so
Eileen has already made that correction a few days ago,
okay,
and that's been conveyed to Mr. Rasmussen.
okay.
Well, the problem is, the red notice was stuck on the door handle of 12. And the red notice here, they were both stuck there, shows a whited out correction. So it's just been problem after problem after problem with this. So I still don't have anything from the town saying that these are corrected. I have a verbal assurance from Eileen, which I'll believe, that's not a problem, but I need something in writing. And the 15th of January, 2 checks were written to the town for the amounts that were due from those two. 269.96, which was account 14, maybe? Yes. And then the other one was for 107, which is for account 705. So those were cut on the 15th of January. They should be here this week coming up. But the other thing is, in the house account, there is a credit $423.98.
Where does that put us? You haven't seen the check that was, where'd it get mailed from?
It's from a bank.
15th, so. Not quite. So.
And you had a
it's-
holiday yesterday too.
Yeah, that's true, so.
Right, so
It's been
that's.
4 business days, that's correct. So you should see that. And what would be the procedure if we don't see that in a couple of days, those checks,
I mean, the water won't be turned off, will not be turned off.
because of tenants?
Because it sounds like there's some question and of getting some things lined up.
Right.
Is what I hear. And we're trying to make it right, and is that,
Making it right, turning the water off won't make it right.
well, right, turning the water off isn't gonna make it
Time of
right.
year.
Thank you.
Right. But also we need to, do we have everything we need to make it right now, or is there still something?
When I talked to Eileen earlier today, I think Mr. Rasmussen did send in the requested information. So, yeah, again, all of this has already been conveyed.
So I sent a picture of the outside of 12 and the meter number that was inside, and that does not correlate to what has been delivered, et cetera.
Okay.
So, the credit that's on there for the $463 or whatever it is, that was a payment that I made for a notice of past due taxes. So it's like $437, and that was back from 113 of 25 now, 429. So that got credited to the water account instead of to the tax bill. The problem is, the tax bill doesn't designate what property that is. It says there's a parcel number on there, but the
That's-
parcels are divided into 1, 2, and 3, I think.
Are they taxed that way?
I believe so. There's
I
two
wonder-
separate, there's two separate parcels.
So this particular meeting, this agenda item was with tenants for water shutoffs, maybe not so much tax bills that weren't paid.
Well, the
So
tax
this-
bill, the tax bill
so-
was
so this-
paid, it was credited to the incorrect account.
Mr. Rasmussen, if you would like to have this fixed, Eileen is the person to talk to.
Okay,
And we're in the process, I'm still trying to understand, so you've talked to Eileen some,
yep.
and,
And she's been very good, and she's
Okay.
working as hard as she can on it, yep.
so is there, at this stage, you're here talking to us because
Yep.
you want us to be aware that there's been some confusion in
Correct.
billing and how, and
And-
we're working that out. So when getting back to I wanna I understand that piece of it, but the water, the meeting with tenants for water, what you're saying is the owner of the building, is ultimately responsible?
Yeah.
Okay, so that would be the same as in the den here. And it sounds like the water's not gonna get, if you were looking to find out something, when you came here to say, I got some answers I need, sounds like what you heard is your water's not gonna be turned off.
Okay,
That's what I heard.
and that'll be recorded in the minutes? Okay.
And you're working with Eileen to try to get some clarity to this,
Yeah. you get-
how things, I
Correct.
can understand where it would be confusing.
Yep. So,
She does.
the issue became is that when they sent out these notices or these certified letters, one of the bills has sewer on it and the other does not. And so when my tenant received a bill that was almost twice what she thought it was, she was very upset. And it cost me a lot of time, a lot of energy to kind of say, no, they got it wrong, this is what's going on. So it's very important that you get the billing right and the address right. Just
Sounds like we're getting there.
just for some history, and this is my own buttons that get pushed. Several years ago, they shut off the water at my primary residence because the tenants didn't pay the bill. And they shut off the water again at my primary residence because there was a 25-cent interest charge. And they were sending out red notices and collection notices. So just, the water department needs to tighten up some of that billing if they can. Manage that.
I don't know how long ago that was, but Eileen is
Oh, it's got to
pretty
be
sharp.
15 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
That-
So different,
It's a different-
Eileen wasn't in the
different
role,
group.
and Joe wasn't in the role. Then he was- okay,
Beverly-
then just-
We wouldn't shut off for 15
I think it was
seconds.
Beverly.
Okay, but
She
I
was involved.
understand,
Okay.
so it sounds
Sounds
like
like
we're,
we're getting there anyway.
So basically, it's just the paperwork, gotta get the right address on the right location.
Yep.
And get that tax payment credited to the right account.
Yep.
okay.
Is there any way we can abate the collection fees? Okay.
I'm not sure about that, and I'm not sure, the water and sewer commissioners would be the one that would debate, or even, oh, you're talking about taxes. But what about water and sewer? Is there charge on the water and sewer as well? Or is,
$25 for each unit, I think, and then,
Were the bills paid on time?
I'm sorry,
Were the bills paid on time?
were the bills addressed correctly? And we can go about this all night.
Right.
no, at this point, you're just paying for late, bills are both late, so I don't know how we can
Well, there's
accommodate
also-
that.
What I'm hearing him say though is the only reason they're late is because they were addressed incorrectly and that hadn't been
So
resolved.
they go to the same place.
No, it was late because I
Okay.
missed them.
Okay.
So
Okay.
there was a partial payment that was made
Okay,
on the bills. So what happens is I have an automatic bill pay, and so there's a set amount that goes out of that bill pay. And if I don't get the bill, before that check goes, I have to remember it and go back in and get it, and I didn't do that. So,
now, I wouldn't, without looking at the water ordinance, wouldn't even wanna try to give you an answer about abatement or anything. I can see what does it say you can and can't do? And
If it's late, you get the charge, but
Mhm.
we can figure out exactly what the wording is and get back.
Okay.
Right?
okay,
good,
that'd be great.
thanks for coming, sorry about the
Thank you very much.
confusion.
We'll get it figured out, honest.
Are you guys done with the parking lot in the South Park?
I think so. I think so.
I think you have some ADA stuff you gotta finish up too.
Check that out.
Have a good night.
Have a good one.
Thanks. See you later. Any other water? Okay. No other water shut off, people? Amendments to the agenda.
Would it be okay to add the January 16th minutes, approval of the January 16th minutes to this?
Yeah, I think we could do that. Make a motion for that,
I'll
someone?
make a motion to add the approval of the January 16th minutes to our agenda.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I guess, is that the only one you have?
Yes, sir.
Anybody else?
Nope.
Moving right along. Approval of the minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of January 7th as written.
I'll second that.
Additions, deletions, corrections?
Yes. Page 3.
Three.
Under the creation of Fairhaven Housing Authority discussion. Third line from the bottom. Mr. Vijay questions how the authority would work within the greater system. That was the end of my commentary. The rest is general discussion from the board.
Okay, can I modify my motion?
I would.
I will make a motion to accept the minutes from January 7th with the change, under creation of Fairhaven Housing Authority, to add the wording that the last two lines or sentences were discussion from the board.
Second.
That's okay with that? All those in favor?
Aye?
All those opposed?
Okay, wait a minute.
Yep.
Chad, did you second that?
Yes. So, the plain words in that, the last two lines were discussion only, they weren't part of,
They weren't.
Right,
of
got it,
Okay.
Okay,
sorry.
The aforementioned 116.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from January 16th as written.
Second.
Everybody got that?
sustained, because I wasn't here.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye?
Aye. Done. All right. Approval. 5 minutes for public comment. Nate?
Nathan Hagan. I like to say that the sidewalks look really good. I went on vacation over the weekend and come home yesterday and they look good. I took a walk down around downtown though, in the new free parking, and the sidewalks should be done and aren't done there. And I know from watching PEG TV over the last 2 years, we're supposed to try to put a sidewalk route in place. And I feel that we could really benefit from that, because as you go over by Stewart's, they did the grassy section and bounced the machine up and over the curb at Stewart's corner on their grass. Yeah, there's that, and also we probably pay a really good penny for rock salt, and Buddy Bowen's driveway's rock salted right to the front of his garage door. I understand employee benefits for the town, plowing and sanding, but I don't really agree with rock salt right up to his garage doors and out onto 3rd Street. He lives at the end of 3rd Street in Gilbert's old house. Trying to think there. Yeah, that's about it for now.
Thank you.
Thanks. All right. Department. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, this Glenn Heights-Smith. I'd just like to say that I attended a presentation from the Fairhaven Historical Society on Sunday, and it was a very interesting presentation about Fairhaven's champion of freedom, Matthew Lyon, who, as we all know, donated the land for the park across the street to this town and did a whole lot of other things. And wouldn't it be nice if there was a street named after him, perhaps? I know that there's a plaque, and there's a national historic designation, but I don't think we should forget the past, because we're doomed to relive it if we do.
We're doing that right now.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's actually kind of interesting. There's a post office named after him.
Okay. Does it say his name on the post office?
So, I think so, doesn't it? I don't have to look now, but I always thought it was there or
Should.
something.
Where's the post office?
This place
No.
down here?
Oh, in town?
Yeah, the one down in town.
It's named after Mr. Lyon?
I think so.
Supposed to be. I don't
I'll
know
check
if
it out.
says that.
I
Yeah.
never,
I don't know.
Now I gotta go and prove myself wrong.
Mail something.
But, okay. Department heads.
Okay, we'll start with the police department, just with some of the numbers. 92 traffic or municipal violations were issued, 35 written warnings, 1 parking violation, and apparently it was snowy and slick. We had 5 car crashes. The guys did 1 overweight permit and 8 sets of civilian fingerprints.
I guess I'll ask this question now. Wait.
Claire pointed something out. Thank you, Claire. Bill Humphreys begins his 21st year as police chief. Oh, I should have known that. Mr. Ricard began his 21st year with the department, and Mr. Quinn began his 2nd year with the department. So we thank them for their service.
Were there charges that came off the smashing of the pole? Charges. Was there a charge involved with that?
Yes, I think they did pick up the person that hit the pole, and there was leaving the scene, and yeah, there were a couple of things.
Okay. I thought so, but somebody told me that nothing had happened. I wanted to make sure. Thank you.
Okay, from my office, I did get quotes for replacing the light pole. That cost is it's almost $13,000. Yeah, that's for the post and, the entire thing. And that's 30 weeks out, so it'll be here in the summer.
Is that covered under the driver's insurance?
Yeah, we've already submitted that, and they'll subjugate, I think is the word, they'll subjugate the other insurance, our insurance company will subjugate the other insurance company to collect that money. Insulation for the attic, I got a quote for that. I got a quote for the ceiling coming sometime this week. I think the guy's coming tomorrow. I talked to Mr. Greeno just briefly about that. There's more to come, but replacing that entire ceiling for a little R rating for sheetrock seems like it might not be the best use of funds.
Is that upstairs?
Yeah, on the 2nd floor, I'm sorry, upstairs in the auditorium. It might behoove us just to patch it up and paint it. So I'm gonna get quotes on that too, because there's no sense in throwing money at it if we don't need to.
What was just gonna strap it and sheetrock it? Was that the plan?
So when they were doing all the work, the joists up there are set so that way we could strip the lath off of it and then sheetrock it. So there would be demo of the existing, and then
It has character. Might as well keep it.
I thought the same thing. It's it's not the original ceiling in that room. It used to be. It's old.
3/4 of it is just, needs a nice cleaning and painting. Repair what's damaged, paint it all, clean and paint it all. You don't have to deal with all your lighting, you don't have to deal with all your sprinkler heads. It just makes good sense to do it that way.
Yeah, I mean, if we're, if we find that we lose too much heat, we can get a couple fans.
Well, it's supposed to be insulated above it, and after the fact, it's gonna be insulated above it,
Yeah,
Right.
so we should be okay.
yeah.
Because it's an it's a MERP grant no problem with us just repairing it, or are they expecting, because the MERP grant, I don't know how the grant was written.
No,
Is
so it's to help us save money on our energy costs, and there are big gaping holes in that
Okay,
ceiling, so.
Okay, so that will, okay.
Yeah, it
that's all.
absolutely needs it.
Okay.
I wanted to say thank you to the Public Works, and I did last week, but last meeting, but I'm gonna do it again. The guys did a great job on that water leak. They found it quick, got it done. And then thank you to Mike Leduc, from the Water Department. He got those tests out and back, had it done on a Saturday for like an extra $50 or something, so that way we could lift that boil water notice. So I really appreciate the hard work. It was miserable out there. We got a letter from the state. That solar project going up on Munger Road is still moving forward. It's slowly making its way through the process. And 3 of the power poles out here in front of Town Hall, somebody had mentioned that, hey, that one, the one right out in front, looked kind of rough. So GMP's gonna come out and replace all 3 of those. They didn't give me a timeline, but it's now on the list. The downtown water line project bid opening is tomorrow for that project, for the water line upgrade. We're doing a training on the 5th. It's not called sexual harassment anymore, it's called respect in the workplace. So we got a $1,200 grant from VLCT to have somebody come in and give us this training. I did invite Castleton, and they're gonna send 6 of their guys too, so we're gonna kind of do it all together as a team.
What's the name of the
It's respect in the workplace training.
Respect.
And then we did finally find somebody for Public Works who had a CDL and was willing to work with us. So Scott Getz started Monday. He has his CDL. He used to be arborist, is that what you call it? The guys that, like from trees, they cut the trees down and trim them up. He did that for something like 20 years. So he's a good addition to the crew.
Might be worth buying him some equipment.
Yeah.
If he's still wants to.
Yeah.
He did it for 20 years, he's probably sick of climbing trees.
Right. And that's all I have for you today.
Questions of board?
Hey, this gentleman has something.
Oh, you guys are first. I don't know
Oh,
if I
yeah.
do get to ask a question on this. Since it was mentioned, the 20 megawatt solar project that everyone in the area got that letter. So it's references a document or a bunch of documents, at least 260 pages of documents. That project will be on 150 acres. And there's some interesting reading there, you know, preservation of, whether or not there's any evidence of, what is it, pre-contact Aboriginal people, and studies for archaeological studies, obviously, and also protection of wildlife, mentions of the rat snake. Surprisingly, it doesn't mention protection or concern for the rattlesnake, which is really just one ridge over. So it'll be interesting to see how that shakes out. Will there be any town public hearings further? I know this has been going on for, 5 or 6 years or whatever, but what is the next step? Does the town manager know?
So it is a private project on a private piece of land. The town really doesn't have, solar projects tend to go through the state. They might show up to the planning commission.
It's iffy too
It
about
is,
that.
so, but no, this is entirely private.
The only thing, probably the only thing that we have to, at the planning commission is access, and they have access, so it's not, there's a road that's like Hay Road, and I would bet sometime they'll wanna improve that road or ask us to improve that road, and that's a whole different discussion.
So anything that the town might want to do with the airport property, since this is contiguous or adjacent or right there, like Act 250, there's no consideration of that, those criteria, the 10 criteria? Okay. It's interesting.
Yeah, solar fields get a real big pass. It solves one of the state's problems, but it also creates a problem if
Perhaps.
I'd much rather have a solar field, personal opinion, I'd much rather have a solar field than a nuclear plant. But there's a lot in between. And so, but the state takes responsibility for that, and like I said, it solves one of their problems, and the towns don't get a lot of input, normal input, but if somebody wanted to put a factory up there, there'd be a lot more input from the town as opposed to the one thing there would be for sure is access. But the state kind of negates that because they want the power, even if it all goes out of state, which is likely.
That's how it works, the grid.
Yes. Anything else? We will move on. The Skyline, speaking of factories, the Skyline building is we're still talking?
We're still talking with it. We've made some small headway.
Yeah, I think that the Camaras are just weighing their options, but they'll be happy to have something going on there big, I think, I don't know. But Anyways, that's me predicting somebody else's business. Not a good idea. Okay, so we'll move on. There is no new business. The downtown designation and the subdivision regulations, some comments from Glenn and others. We'll talk our next meeting. We didn't have a quorum because I was sick. I was the third person. But we'll do that. Which reminds me, Carrie and Mike both owe me a form filled out. It's not a big stretch, but we need it. We need it when we get ready to officially apply for a downtown designation. So that would probably, it's only 4 or 5 questions, and if they had it to me or us by middle of February, that'd be fine.
Okay.
So it's not pressing, but if they would be so kind, they both have a copy of it, and if there's any questions, either we will answer or Logan can answer. And if there's any questions on how to answer, that's Logan's department. Anything else on that? Board roundtable.
I have nothing tonight.
Yes, so over the weekend, I guess we're starting to see an influx of panhandling in our town. And it's been asked if we have a panhandling ordinance, and if not, what can we do to implement a panhandling ordinance? Not much.
We have a policy, and I'm not sure if it's an ordinance, but could you look that up? I thought we had an ordinance.
And we
Claire,
watched
you
them for a
remember?
little while from our house,
I don't
going back and
remember
forth
anything
between
about panhandling.
Heritage's, waiting for people to come out of the drive-through and
Yeah.
had some big story, flagging people down. Then he worked his way to Dunkin', Maple Fields, McDonald's, and back up again for an hour or so.
Yeah.
Pretty much asking for money for a plane ticket because whatever his story was.
Yep.
Whatever, listen.
A beggar, huh?
Yeah, so I don't know what we can do if we have anything, but it's something
It's,
to look into.
as you see in Rutland,
There's
there's a limited,
And Rutland on the corner,
Right.
There's some protections.
there is protections for
but
them.
I think we have an ordinance which will help us. I don't think it'll solve the problem, but we can at least cite somebody.
Right. I mean, it's
Bill, because
It's a little unsettling when you're coming out of the ATM and you got somebody right there pretty much
Yeah.
waiting for you to come out from the ATM and, oh, I need money.
Well,
Well,
fortunately, my sister doesn't live in this town.
Maybe they could be brought to the PD's attention so they just keep an eye on things.
I'll look for the ordinance and I'll let the police.
Just an extra eye.
Sure.
I know he's referenced something, so.
Yeah, before. I think we do.
But
that's all I've got.
Last week, Glenn and I went to the VLCT and Rutland Planning Commission joint sponsored.
Meet and greet of the select board members.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Handful, actually a few handfuls of different towns, different select board members. The biggest takeaway was towns, and this excluded really Rutland City. I don't think there was any attendance, but the smaller towns are very interested in some cost-sharing initiatives where we can kind of band together, brainstorm, think out of the box on things, services, equipment that we can enter into partnerships around and save all the towns and taxpayers some money. So this was a one-time event, and Rutland County was the pilot for this, but it was such a good conversation that they're going to repeat it again every month or few months. Something like that.
Right, they say quarterly, or they were shooting for quarterly, whether they're able to pull that off, but it's good.
No, I haven't.
I'll just piggyback onto what you were saying. It seemed like all the municipalities, they had about the same top 4 items that they, paving when they were there, talking about dog licensing, the fact that it went up to $11, and that was an interesting discussion. But also how hard it is to get people to work, hiring people for DPW, and if you have a police department, that it's tough out there for hiring folks on that line. And at the wastewater sludge removal, it was interesting, you know, you talk to the different, and you would think that there's this one place that would have the best price and everyone would use it, but it was like 3 different places sludge was going to. So it was great meeting. West Rutland did a wonderful job of hosting it, and they'll be trying to move it around a little bit, and there, at some point in the future, it might be an opportunity for Fairhaven
Host.
to host.
See, things like that, shared services agreements and things like that, in New York State, they do it everywhere. They do that, that's a routine. But that's where we lack in Vermont, state to county levels. We don't have that. So you've lost that connection there.
The only thing we get from the county is a bill for the taxes.
That's kind of what I'm saying.
It's true, it's not done in Vermont. It's weird. That's it? Downtown bridge. Can we talk to somebody that's, heading towards spring and Easter, and it's probably time to take the wreaths down?
Oh, down in the park, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we'll get them.
Or we can leave them there all year like some trailer trash.
Yeah, no.
Sometimes you can't
Carolina.
take them down because the birds have nested in them.
Well,
Find a new home.
find a new home or,
I got the one on the building, it's been so cold, I've been
well,
hesitant to get out there.
I see the one right directly across from us has been taken down, but so that went with the post, I guess.
That's how we're gonna do them all.
Okay,
14 grand a piece.
Yep.
okay. That's all I got. Review of financials.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Go.
All right, I'll make a motion to pay the payroll for $36,593.57.
Second that?
All those in favor?
I
Those opposed?
make a motion to pay the general warrant of $102,696.33.
Second that?
All those in favor?
Aye. And the checkbook status is $953,442.93.
Well, the other thing, probably we should get the forms to request the massive payment
Yes, sir, that's coming up too.
of our huge salary.
I'll get that for the next meeting.
Yeah, that's good. Okay?
Don't spend it all in one place for us.
I'll make a motion to go into executive session for personnel under 1 VSA 313A1.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed?